Go to the menu. I'm so confused. I think that's a
Yeah.
single player mode. I'm just gonna leave that alone. All right. So we will
uh,
discuss Super Baseball Simulator 1000. So
no, 1.0, not
1.0.
1000.
Oh yeah, 1.000. Oh boy, this that title is a bit misleading, I suppose. So this game, we kind of came into this game not with really any expectations whatsoever. We thought it was going to be Super Nintendo baseball, and that was about it. But this game, I would say, both pleasantly surprised me and unpleasantly surprised me. The pleasant surprise, um, the superpowers that this game has. It wasn't just straight baseball. The characters in play had these abilities that could really change. You could run faster. You could become a freaking ninja. You could just throw lightning balls, make blizzards. So I wasn't expecting to play a baseball game with Super Nintendo without Mario, but also have Mario baseball elements of it, if that makes sense. Um, so in that regard, I guess I had more fun in this game than I thought I was going to be. That I was going to have. But as someone who has played the Mario baseball games and at a friend's place also played some of the MLB, the show games as well. This game has some issues for sure, like the fact that you can't run back. The fact that the outs that were being called were kind of wonky. Even even for baseball standards, there was a lot of foul balls in play. Like, there's a lot of technical stuff that just wasn't working correctly. That really prevents this game from being like really good baseball in that regard. But what it makes up for that is just it was surprisingly fun. You do have to like baseball. It's not like where Mario baseball is where you can like it even if you don't really care for baseball because that's the charm of the Mario games, right? But this one, if you don't care for baseball at all, like the little bit that they add with the superpowers is not quite enough to sway you. Let me stop talking for a second. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree on most of what you said there. It was definitely a surprising one. Another sports title that I did not expect to enjoy, but I enjoyed moderately.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not up there with Spanky's Quest for me, but yeah, the power-ups did help because it did sort of make it a bit more Mario-esque.
Right.
But yeah, the janky handling and actually hitting the ball weren't that easy, especially when every hit seemed to go into the crowd
Right.
the wrong way and
The
get me a
wrong way.
foul.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it felt like it had like elements of obviously real baseball stuff, um, parts of the game which I'm not too familiar with, and then some fun elements like lightning bolt things.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah. I was gonna
it was definitely a
clarify
good mix.
I was gonna clarify that I didn't mention this when I was speaking about the game before, but all those special elements I was referring to are completely optional. You have to choose the Ultra League to even access those abilities. In the
Mm.
first game, you had chosen one of the Ultra Leagues, and I had just chosen a regular team, and it was just regular baseball. It was just regular as baseball, and that was I will admit, like seeing the powers was amusing, but I was just playing regular baseball on Super Nintendo. I was like, I don't know. But then when we did our second game where we actually had the powers, or rather when we saw the tutorial of how good the game can be when the two people know what they're doing, that was pretty cool. And then we played ourselves and used the powers, and it was still pretty fun. I would definitely say that this game is made by its powers, which is why it's kind of a shame that only 6 of the teams have the powers, while the rest of them are regular. I almost would have preferred is if the 18 teams that you have there is if they had maybe even less teams but have an option to use superpowers or not, and then all the teams would just have them. But
Yeah,
again, you
that's
could
what I
just
was thinking as well,
instead
actually.
of having 6 teams that have powers and
And
12
then
that
like,
don't.
yeah, because you'd think it'd be easier if you just have them all that have the option to either have them on or have them off. And
Yeah,
then yeah,
I think
rather
that
as a collective.
right. I must say, Super Baseball Simulator 1.00. It I suppose it is a simulator if you're just playing the regular teams, but if you're playing the ultra teams, I don't know if that's quite how baseball works. I don't know. I think the title is misleading on 2 counts now. I mean, it is super because it's Super Nintendo. It is baseball. Those 2 words are true, but the other 2 words and I guess numbers, I don't know about those. I almost want to give it a thumbs down for misleading title, but I won't do that. I will say that, if you're looking for a fun little baseball game on your Super Nintendo Switch, I don't think you can go too wrong with this. I don't think there's a lot there for you in the regular baseball mode, but if you do play with the Ultra teams, I think there can be fun to be had there. I didn't really touch the single player mode because the menu was kind of confusing, but I don't know. I feel like that. I don't think there was too much value there. I really feel like this is a game that's like best enjoyed with a friend if you really want to give it a go and play some baseball. I will say it definitely makes me hungry for them to make a Mario baseball game for Switch, because I really quite like Mario Super Sluggers on the Wii, and that was the last one that they had released. I think that was like 2009 now, so we've gone without a baseball Mario game for over a decade now, and that's too long. So
Well, we've just had we've got golf and tennis already, so maybe sluggers will be next.
I hope so. Mario Super Sluggers actually had a really
Either
good
that or strikers.
either or. I could take either or, but I do love baseball. But yeah, this is more of a conditional holds up because it's really going to depend on whether you enjoy the sport of baseball. And if you're playing the Ultra team, if I'm being quite frank, because I don't think there's much value in the regular one, but I'm sure what I'm trying to say is there it can be fun there if you wanted to give it a go with baseball. But for a lot of people, if you play like a lot of the sports games, it just may not be for you.
It can be like a fun evening with a friend for half an hour, and that's it, I think, for me. I'm
Right.
like, it might be a thumbs down for me.
Mm-hmm.
My first thumbs down. Because I don't think I'd play it. I definitely wouldn't play it alone. I
No,
know I would
I
play it
wouldn't
with a
either.
friend, but
Mm.
like, I'd probably get bored after half an hour.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's a fun game that you pop on with
Mm.
a friend for a little bit and then just do something else. I mean, it's a different
I don't think it
sport.
was terrible. It's probably a mixture of my tastes and the game, I'd say.
Yeah,
It's
I
like you
could
said,
definitely
a
see that.
few janky mechanics didn't help with getting out when you were clearly in.
Right. That's what I was saying before. It's like even as a baseball game, it has so many flaws to it that I don't know if you're not using Ultra Sport, then you're playing like a non-realistic baseball game, and I don't know if that's really
Yeah,
appealing.
yeah,
Not
definitely.
non-realistic in both the terms of the names of these players, Arn and Barn, as well as the fact that again the
Oh
mechanics
God.
aren't like faithful enough. That's I guess the nature of these early sports games. It wasn't really until the N64/PlayStation era that we really started to get heavily into these more realistic sports games with the John Maddens and the MLBs and the such and such. Here, you
Yeah,
kind of took
like
what
the
you
3D world.
exactly. You kind of took what you got, and for this time, I'm sure this was a pretty fun game. But I don't know if you'd be spending too much time with it today, apart from the half an hour in the evening with a friend. But yeah, I think that is going to go ahead and finish up Super Baseball Simulator 1.000.